Welcome to the Get Right with God podcast with Jamar Grimsley, where we're all a work in progress. Nobody has their life all the way together. We're all trying to get right with God.
Listen, times of aloneness and boredom, God wants your attention. What am I talking about? First off, thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Get Right with God podcast. I'm your host, Jamar Grimsley, and I know that you guys can see the title there. It says, Times of Aloneness and Boredom, God Wants Your Attention. Now, what am I talking about, you guys? What am I talking about? I'm speaking to somebody. This is a specific word, so you'll know if I'm speaking to you or not. But I'm speaking to somebody that is very, very busy, right? You're very, very busy, but you do have the call of God upon your life, but God is trying to speak to you, but you're just doing too much. Like you can't even really, you can't hear because you got too much going on. You got too much going on, right? And God has called you into some type of ministry or something God has called you into, but it's kind of like you're doing everything else. You're doing everything else. And so when the title says times of aloneness and boredom, right? That God wants your attention, right? What God will do, child of God. And for somebody, it's like you still not getting it. So hopefully this message will help you to understand what's happening here. But sometimes God will put you in a place of aloneness, meaning you're just by yourself, right? You by yourself, and then you'll get bored. It'll be like it's nothing to do. What can I do? But right then and there, child of God, that's when you need to seek God and get the instruction for what your next assignment is going to be. So God may want to give you a business idea to upgrade your life, take you to another level. He may want to give you a new instruction to do for your ministry. But for somebody, you're very busy. You're very busy and he can't get your attention, right? He can't get your attention because you got too much. Again, you got too much going on. And when I say aloneness and boredom, right? Now, when I say aloneness and boredom, I'm not, because you can have a family. You can have a family if you got a wife and kids. That don't mean you just by yourself. But if you got a wife and kids and stuff like that, God will still set it up in a way, child of God, where they won't bother you, or God will make sure that you have some time for him. He'll make sure that you will be able to be alone with him just by yourself. Maybe the kids will go to school and your husband or your wife will be at work. So I don't make it so there's time for you to spend with him. And in those times, that's when you are alone. And what God will also do is it's that time when you're bored, right? When you're bored and you don't have anything to do. What happens is we're like, I'm bored. What can I do? And you'll go scrolling on your phone, or then you'll go watching television, or you'll go just doing other things except praying, right? Or except really getting into your word or trying to hear God and see what, but God is trying to speak to somebody. And again, you have a call of God upon your life, but it's kind of like you're just not hearing his instructions. You know, hopefully this word, you guys, when you get bored, if this is for you, when you just bored, God will set it like that. He'll make it so you bored and you by yourself, right? Alone, and then bored. Like that's them times again when you be like, I don't got nothing to do. But then we get up and go find something to do versus getting into the word again or praying to get that instruction. God is trying to speak to somebody about a ministry assignment or a business assignment or something that he wants to do, child of God, that's going to help you, that's going to take you higher, right? But whatever this is, it's going to also be a blessing to other people, right? When I say the times of aloneness, right, and boredom, it says God wants to get your attention. God wants to get your attention. You ever been like, I don't know what to do. I'm so bored. I don't even know what to do. Congratulations. When you feel like that right there is God asking you to get in his presence because he wants to reveal to you what the next instruction is, child of God, right? So child of God, again, I don't know who this is for, but as I'm bringing this word, you'll kind of know if your relationship with God has been slipping or if you are called by God, but you've been kind of being lazy on prayer and things like that. So, you know, hopefully there's something that God wants to give you or something that God wants to do for you, but it can't get your attention because you're doing too much, right? So you get that time of aloneness and you bored, that's right there. That's when God wants to speak to you. That's when God wants to speak to you. He's the one that makes it like that. You see what I'm saying? He's the one that sets it up like that. That time of aloneness and boredom. It says right there, that's when God wants to speak to you. Hopefully this message will wake you up and you'll just be like, okay, it's for me. I need to get it together. All right, child of God, so just get it together so that God can give you the next instruction for your assignment. All right, be blessed.
Better make right with God. Come and do it now. Under the cross of Jesus, I lay my burden.